3 different winners in the first 3 races, all of whom first-time winners in the One-Up Modified Motor Tour. Will that streak continue for another week? We're about to find out over the course of 75 laps this evening here at the Dodge Motordrome. Right outside New York City with the skyline in the background. This is One-Up's biggest market. This is the Modified's biggest ever audience. And we're getting ready to get racing for 75 laps in front of that huge crowd to show what these modified drivers are really capable of. And alongside me in the booth to bring you all the action for this monumentous night is James Ellison with us. Great to have you with us for this big night. But regardless of the venue, it's the same modified race that we come to know and love, and these guys, they mean business, especially at a place this big.
Oh, absolutely. This is a big venue, especially for such a, well, not so small series now, but it's you don't think of a large crowd for something like this, but this is really their chance to shine and show. Well, every race is their chance to shine, but this is their chance to show off what they can do at a track like this in front of a lot more people than what they normally would experience it with.
Yeah, imagine the crowd we had at Oxford Plains, double that, triple that, increasing more and more. This crowd is packed, a sellout crowd for this modified race, and I, for one, am thrilled to see these guys take it on for 75 laps this evening. As we can now bring you the starting lineup for tonight's 75 laps of racing, and it's Jack Davis, surprisingly, really, that this is his first pole position of the season. He is the points leader going into this race. He's got a big points lead. Can he get his first win of the season to match? I wonder. Maston Rimmel alongside him in second. We saw what he could do in the few modified races we've had this season. Could he get his first win here tonight? Max Brumer, Wayne Hovick, Seth Bayless, they're all looking for a big day here tonight, and they all start in the top 5 here today. But the main focus I'm going to be thinking of is Jack Davis. He's got the points lead. He doesn't need to worry about that too much. Now I think his focus is on winning races to prove that he's got what it takes to move up the ranks, for example.
Oh, absolutely. We've seen him fight for wins already, and, well, he's going to get one. I know he will, but it's just a matter of when. Starting on pole today will be very helpful towards that, but he's got a lot of challengers to go after. Rimmel is definitely one to watch. Hovick will definitely be one to watch because he had a rough. We've talked about Hovick's rough start to the season, which bounced back a little bit last time out. But there's several others that I would say be keeping an eye on. Chase James is definitely one to watch out for, and well, I could list a whole bunch of drivers, but we'd be here forever. I'm ready. I'm ready to get racing.
As are these thousands of fans that have gathered here to witness this event tonight. Well, with that being said, we've got 30 of the best modified drivers anywhere you'll find, and they're ready to take on the Dodge Motordrome here tonight. It's modified night, it's race number 4 of the season, and the green flag set to get this great race underway in just a short moment now. Stay tuned, this is going to be a good one, I guarantee it. Getting set for a big day of racing here in New York. It is Davis and Rimmel on the front row. The green flag's out. We're racing at Dodge Motordrome, and the field already starting to migrate towards that outside line. That's going to be a big deal tonight. But Davis leads the charge down into turn 2. He won't lead it into turn 3, though. Rimmel pulls alongside him from the top of the track. It'll be a drag race to see which of these two lead the first lap and give it to the 3 by a fender.
And you got Hovick there watching on, seeing what these two will do. Now that the 3 is clear, he's going to make a move on Davis here. But now that Rimmel's out in the clean air, at least until he starts catching lap traffic, because we know that's going to happen, he could easily start setting sail here.
But look at this, Hovick from the outside trying to make a move on Jack Davis. He's going to clear it up into second place, and now Chase James trying to follow him through. So Davis having a rough start to the race from pole position all the way down to 4th in the opening few laps.
I mentioned Chase James in the pre-race. One of the drivers to watch out for. I'd say, that was a very smart move here, as now Hovick already up to 2nd, but about to lose that already to the 9 if pass can be completed. Not yet.
Yeah, that top lane is going to be very powerful because it's a progressive banked racetrack. The higher banks are at the top. You're going to want to use that momentum to sling your way around this place. We've seen this in the past here, and look at this. We've got the 10 of Luke Xavier Delorier in the 10. We haven't seen what he can do much this season, but he's already up onto the back of Jack Davis for a 4th position. This 10 car is going places in the opening few laps.
Absolutely, and he's showing what he can do at the moment as we look at some of the other cars back here. Just look at the 00 of Brummer. Started 3rd, already lost some spots, and looking to lose some more, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, he just cannot find his way up to the top of the racetrack, and he is bleeding lap time because of it. He's already fallen outside of the top 10. He might even fall out of the top 15 here. A wretched start for the German driver, Max Brummer. But it's still early in this race. If he can find his way to the top somehow, he'll be okay, I think, to just pick off spots there. But he's already fallen down to about 16th place, and he's due to lose more.
Yeah, meanwhile, up here, we're looking at the 22 of Sean McHale. He started 18th, and he's trying to pick up a few spots here. Got a little ways to go yet, but at the same time, looking up the front, things seem to have settled out up there, so as we focus on various parts of the field here.
Yeah, Maston Remmel is checked out on the rest of the field. However, I'm noticing Wayne Hovick is starting to close in on him. Jack Davis has gotten back past Chase James to move up into the 3rd position. But he's got a big effort ahead of him to try and track down those top 2 drivers who are starting to make this race their own personal benefit out in front. Hovick closing in onto the back of Remmel. They're only a 1/4 of a second apart.
And you mentioned Delorier there. He has now passed the 9 and trying to go. Speaking of moves being made, hello Hovick.
Big move incoming for Wayne Hovick. He's found the outside of Maston Remmel. He's trying to make a move around the outside to complete the pass, and sure enough, he's done so. Hovick to the lead as we start lap 15.
And that is a point that he needed badly. Even with a good run last time out, he still needs all the points he can get to make up for the wretched start he had to the season in the first 2 races.
But he still has Maston Remmel hot on his heels, trying to make the move back around him to take the lead back. And look at that, he's already trying to sneak his way to the outside. I don't think Kovacs wants him to get there, but he might not have a choice with the way this 3 car is running. Very strong effort from both of these 2, but they got to be wary of Jack Davis back there. He is got to be trying to pull those 2 in if he's going to have a hope to win this thing.
Absolutely, it's a game, and you got to play cautiously. When you're playing cat and mouse between the first 2 positions, and you got to be careful because once the one doing the chasing catches the one who's being chased for position, in this case Hovick, if these 2 start getting side by side, we've seen it time and again. That tends to bring the rest of the field right back to him. Although it looks like a battle is less likely as these runs goes on.
Yeah, and looking at the back of the field, see how close they are to being lapped, and you can see Max Brummer absolutely having a wretched time. He's fallen outside the top 20 now at this stage of the race. He started this race all the way up in 3rd, did Max Brummer, and now he's running in about 24th spot. Not what this 00 was hoping for, and he's not that far away from going a lap down either.
Oh, absolutely not. This is just like an absolutely wretched start to the race for him. It definitely had a qualifying setup, but race setup certainly is leaving something to be desired here.
I think he just wasn't able to get to that outside lane for so long that it really bit him. As meanwhile, back up here at the front, Davis has clawed his way to the back of Rimmel now, trying to get the 2nd position back. He had to back out a little bit there. But Hovick starting to stretch his legs out front. He's got almost a 2nd lead over Maston Rimmel. This is a run, like you said, this 41 team, it really needed a run like this.
And it's going to continue for now, so long as Rimmel can't catch. But I have a feeling that if Davis can get by Rimmel, can catch and pass him, of course, got to catch first. It it could end up being Davis versus Hovig when all said and done, especially once lap traffic plays into this.
Yeah, but I'm looking. Rimmel just gained 0.6 of a second in the last 2 laps. I think he is on his way to try and take the lead back from Wayne Hovig. You can see him running.
He's getting there.
You see him running a higher line, trying to gain as much time as he can. And across the line they go. He just gained another 0.3 right there. Almost a second gained in the last 3 laps. This 3 car is on his way.
Yeah, I think we're looking at least as we have hit the third lap mark of the race. I would say we're looking at the class of the field as Davis is starting to close in as well.
Yeah, they kind of left 4th place to Laurier in the dust, really. But Davis is starting to put the pressure on Rimmel, trying to get him to go a little quicker to try and catch the 41. Because if Rimmel takes too much time trying to get past the 41, this 45 is going to sneak under him, and it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do. Not the fastest way around, but Davis has got to be doing something to try and get this lead.
And I think that 41 is just strong enough, although we've talked about it time and again, that outside line. Rimmel keeps making runs, but I think Hovig's able to do just enough for now to hold him off, which, you know, like we said, he needs this run. Even if he comes home 2nd or 3rd, it'll still be a good day for the 41 crew.
It absolutely will, but for right now, he's still in the lead of this race on lap 30, trying to hold off Maston Rimmel, but not for much longer. Rimmel got to his outside finally, swoops around, and by the end of this lap, he should be clear of the 41 once more. This has been some great racing we've seen here, a lot of back and forth at the front. So I'd say this experiment at the Dodge Motordrome, a rousing success.
We're not even halfway, and I have to agree with you. That's, I would say, at least for these 3, it's definitely feel like a rousing success. Everyone else is probably thinking, who's already 2 seconds plus behind, in some cases at the back of the field, almost a full lap. Oh, they may still enjoy the racing, so, yeah, if we could come back here next year, I definitely would not complain.
Well, it's still in the works, but I would say this is a great case for it to do so. But back to the race at hand. Hovig now trying to take the lead back from Rimmel here. Trying to make something happen up high. Nothing doing on that occasion. But the field already stringing out across this half-mile racetrack with the 41. It just is close, but not close enough to that 3 car to make something happen.
Meanwhile, looking back a little further in the top 10, I see his Alliance teammate there, Sean McHale, on the 22, was 7th for a long time, but has now moved up to 6th. There's some shuffling going on way back there behind these 3, but obviously we're going to keep a focus on this because the runs that each driver's been able to have after one person gets by them for a while have been incredible so far.
And meanwhile, this 33 car, Adam Tadek, he started up in the top 10s, and he's already drifted back to 30th position, quite a bit behind 29th place Gentry Gee. So something perhaps amiss with this 33. He's the first one in line to go a lap down. I'm curious to see if and when that will happen. But we were already at about the halfway point of this race, but Maston Rimmel is wanting to count to stop right now. He's got a decent lead of about a second over Wayne Hovig, and if he can hold that for the rest of the way, this will be a really good job for this team.
And certainly a victory worth celebrating, but that's still to be determined as we're approaching lap 40 here. So all he's got to do is mind himself, although Hovig just took a chunk. But now Davis finally getting a chance to get by the 41 here and see if he can get back to Rimmel.
Yeah, Jack Davis is really wanting a win this season. He's had all the solid results he needs, but he goes a little too high this time in his efforts to get by Wayne Hovig.
That cost him.
Gets into that red paint up there, and that's going to cost him a little bit of time. But overall, I'd say that Davis wants a win more than anything. He's already got a points lead pretty good, and now he just wants to focus on winning races to prove himself to prospective team owners in the trucks, perhaps. But we're closing in on 30 laps to go here, and the lead between Rimmel and Hovig starting to come down a little bit. It was a second, now it's 3/4 of a second. There's a lot of time left to make it happen, but at the same time, there's not much left in the grand scheme of things.
Absolutely not. We see the 14 here. That's Zane Grayson. That would be if he actually be Hovig's teammate. So got both the team cars in the top 10 here. So good day overall for not just the team, but for the alliance as well. Just been watching this, and the only one missing right now is Bogdansky, who I'm guessing is having a quiet day so far.
And Davis now has cleared Hovig to move up into second position. This 45, I expect, will be right on the tail of Mastin Rimmel any minute now. Because this 45, like I said, is desperate for a win. I know he's leading the points, but he wants to win races. That's his goal, to prove himself. And not that he needed to prove himself any more than he already has, but that's just the goal of his, and he wants to set it as Max Groomer continues to cascade down the order.
He doesn't have very much further to fall. Just the 33 of 10-inch, as you said. Both top 10 starters having a really bad day right now. Started off with high hopes, but not when you go from starting in the top 10, looking to have a chance to hang up there with the leaders, to being at the tail of the field, looking in here and seeing the leaders closing in, yeah, that's definitely got to be tough.
They haven't quite gotten there, though, so you think he's going to live to fight another day a little bit, but that 3 car is rapidly approaching. I'm not sure when they'll catch the back of the field, but it's coming pretty soon for Mastin Rimmel, Jack Davis, Wayne Hovig, and the rest of the field once they get there. But this has been a good race so far. We're already at the 2/3 mark of this race, and we've had a couple lead changes. Rebels led most of the way. Great stuff here so far.
And when you look at it, like I said, this is the class of the field right here. No matter which order these 3 finish the race in, these are the ones to watch out for, because they've got over 3-second gap on the 10 there of Delorier.
Absolutely. Mastin Rimmel is just putting on a clinic, but Davis and Hovig are not letting him get away as Brummer falls all the way down to the tail of the train. So the good news is he can't fall any further back than he is right now. But the bad news is Mastin Rimmel's quickly approaching him to put the 00 down a lap, and that is just not going to help the 00's 9, I'm sure. But here's a battle in the top 5. Bayless and Delorier side by side for the 4th position. Looking a little further back. Chase James has actually dropped back quite a bit. He's fallen down to the 11th spot, battling his teammate for that. But up at the front, I'd say, yeah, the leaders are definitely in the midst of lap traffic now.
Yeah, that's going to be huge for Davis to catch Rimmel here. Although, I don't know how well it's going to work, because Brummer just went to the line that's preferred here, and they're side by side ahead of the 00.
Yeah, and Jack Davis is just applying a lot of pressure on the 3 car here. Just trying to... Oh, we got one blowing up down the front straightaway. This is going to be interesting. It's Fisher Zur in the 73 slowing to a halt into turn 1. That is... Yeah, you see the caution lights illuminate all around the stadium. Our first yellow flag of the evening for Fisher Zur's engine letting go. And that basically just saved everybody from going a lap down here. And we're going to have a restart on our hands. That is something I wasn't expecting tonight, but I'm curious to see how this plays out.
And you know people like Bayless, Delorier, McHale, and a few others, they are happy to see this, because this gives them a chance to see if they can't upset Rimmel, Davis, and Hovig here.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. This bunches the field up in a big way, for sure. And it also saves everybody at the back from being lapped, so I'm sure they welcome this caution flag to get them back in the game, as we'll take a look here in just a moment to see what happens to Fisher Zur here. So Fisher Zur was running at about 22nd spot here, or just behind one of those, but he was running at the back anyway. He was battling the 57, but I guess the engine just had enough. Whoa, that was a big slide, possibly in his own fluid there. But there's not much room to hide here, and he unfortunately was not able to get it back to the pit lane. Slowed to a stop. Caution came out. That was inevitable.
And when you're stuck going uphill, obviously gravity is going to be working against you there. And it's unfortunate for him, but There will be chances to rebound from that, as we always like to say.
Yeah, that's true, and we'll see what he can do at the next race out instead, because he's not going to finish this one. That is pretty much a guarantee at this point. We'll see what he can do at Kern County next time out, but for right now, he's done for today. But we've got Maston Rimmel in the lead of this race. We got our first caution of the evening here. This is going to be a fun restart because I'm curious to see. We've got a lot more challengers now up at the front of the field. Curious to see if any of them have anything in store for the 3 leaders.
That's the thing I'm looking forward to seeing is, while we've been seeing Rimmel, Davis, and Hovik being pretty much the class of the field, with Davis being the only one of those 3 who has yet to lead very much of this race. If anybody can do anything to upset these guys, they need to do it within the first few laps of the restart, because I feel like it's going to be like the start of the race where they're just going to start taking off.
Yeah, if they're left to their own devices for too long, they are just going to run away and hide. But there's still time. We've got about 15 laps to go. We'll probably have about 13 to go when we get the restart. But that's not a lot of time in the grand scheme of things. So for the likes of Davis, Hovik, and even Seth Bayless behind, there's not much time left to make something happen as we get the 1-to-go signal here.
And I was saying when we were looking at Brummer back there at the back of the field, while it's still bad news that he and Tej are both back in the back after being in the front to start the race, as they get ready to come to the green here, at least they can't go any further down than 29th now.
Very true indeed. But the field makes its way through turn 4, heading towards the restart zone. We're going to get ready to get this thing restarted on lap 62. And here we go, off on an adventure into the final 2 laps here at Motordrome. Hovik gets the jump on Davis and a few cars up and in the wall there. That is Bayless and that is McHale back there. We got a 3-wide situation here for position in the back half of the top 10.
And McHale scrambling to rebound from a little bit of a slip-up. Bayless and the same. Here's Davis. And while this is all going on, look who's running away.
Yeah, Maston Rimmel took advantage of these guys fighting amongst themselves, and he took off. But with Davis now clear, he has about 12 laps to make something happen to erase an 0.8 of a second deficit at the front of the field. But making our way through the rest of the top 10 here, these guys are still scrambling for every position they can get. Juan Diaz fighting for the top 10. Nolan Foley looking for a good run in his 75 car. We've got a few cars still up high, but Rimmel, his lead is still at about 0.9 of a second as we approach 10 to go.
And Hovik's podium is in danger here because he's getting passed by the 10 and the 8. This is definitely not what he wanted to see, but he's still got a chance to hold on and try to do something here. But right now, I think the main focus needs to be on if Davis can get up there to Rimmel.
Yeah, Hovik is just bleeding positions here in the late stages. He's lost 3rd, he's lost 4th, he's about to lose the 5th spot as well. And with Kyle Roberts in the 56 about to try and get to his outside, not looking good for Wade Hovik after he led a bunch of laps early. But he's still putting on a good performance, even if he fades to a lower top 10 position.
And I think the only one who hasn't been able to pass him yet is the Alliance teammate there in McHale, but they're both stuck there on the bottom as they're both losing spots now.
Yeah, there's Dallas Miller in the 83 trying to get some momentum of his own going as he tries to make his way around Hovik. That would be for the 7th position. As meanwhile, up the front, Rimmel's lead is just getting bigger and bigger. It's now a full second between himself and Jack Davis. So this 3 car is on pace for a really good day if he can hang on for another 5.5 laps.
And looks like maybe the bleeding of the positions will finally stop for Hovik there. The results in the tail, it's not going to indicate where he was running, but honestly, I think it's safe to say, as we're now down to less than 5 to go, this is Rimmel's race to lose.
Oh, we got one slowing. We got another engine going, and it's Joshua Warren in the 54. That's going to bring out the caution.
That's it.
That's the race run right there. Our second caution of the day comes with just 3 laps to go. And as if Maston Rimmel didn't need any more confirmation that this race is his, if he can make it coast it along for the remaining 2.5 laps, he's got this one.
Oh, absolutely. And I will say, on the plus side, nobody has to worry about a restart where they could lose a bunch of positions again. So that's definitely going to be a positive for everybody. But the negative, they don't have another shot at Rimmel.
And another negative for Joshua Warren, that is Finch and Fury Motorsports' first ever DNF in the modifieds right there. And that is disappointing for a team that had such strong cars last year. Bit of a step backward this year, but they've got Kyle Roberts in 6th. That's got to be a good job for them. But Maston Rimmel, you said it. He's had such a strong day today, and now he's about to reap the reward in about a lap's time to get his first win in this series.
Yeah, all he's got to do is coast around for a little bit longer here, and he's got it made. Although, of course, there's one person behind him hoping that something happens to that 3, but it's not going. I don't see it happening. This is Rimmel's win, and
we've seen it before, though. Flashback to that Nitro National race at Las Vegas all those years ago. We've seen it happen before.
I do remember that one a little. I'm sure the driver who was on the wrong end of that doesn't want to remember it, but here we are, last lap, and this is all we got left.
For Maston Rimmel, this is a dream come true. He went down to the modifieds to prove he could win races, and he's going to be rewarded with this, his first career win. And as the crowd roars him home, Maston Rimmel wins in front of One-Up's biggest ever crowd, and that is going to be a huge deal for Rimmel to be able to win like this as the field stacks up behind him under the yellow flag. But that was a well-earned win by Rimmel. He lost the lead early, got it back, and held on the rest of the way. This is his win, and he's earned it.
Yep, as they all head into the pits under the grandstands, it's celebration time, and I guarantee that Rimmel's pit crew is all over the place right now in their pit stall, just celebrating this one. Because, well, yes, it would have been great to get it under green. Take them where you can get them, I say.
Absolutely, because Rimmel, he undoubtedly deserved this race win, and anyone who says otherwise clearly did not watch this race, even though we're talking about them right here. But this is a great job from Maston Rimmel, and he has closed in that points gap to Jack Davis by a little bit. I'm sure Davis will still leave this race as the points leader, but that gap's getting smaller, and as we head to Kern County next time, this is going to be a big deal for this championship.
Oh, absolutely. This is going to be honestly, having 4 different winners now in the season so far. I know we got some favorites going on here, but I'd say I'm really excited to see how this championship will turn out, because I have a feeling that it's gonna be really great to see whether or not this gets settled by the finale or sooner, because we've seen it all the way around.
We certainly have, that is for sure. But from James Ellison and from myself as well, thanks for joining us with the New York skyline in the background. Thanks for joining us for an epic night of racing at Dodge Motordrome. We'll see you again next time at Kern County Raceway Park. We go from New York City to Bakersfield, California for race number 5 of the season. Hope you'll join us then, but until we see you then, so long from New York. Congrats to Maston Rimmel, finally a winner in the Modified Motor Tour.